Alright then guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today I'm going to do my championship score predictions for midweek and for the weekend. Obviously it's Monday today and we have got fixtures tomorrow. That is one of the reasons why I'm uploading it for you guys today. Obviously it is the FA Cup weekend as well, so there's not as many championship games at the weekend because some are in the FA Cup, but I will go through the championship fixtures that there is. So obviously the first lot of fixtures are on Tuesday night, which is tomorrow, and the first game is Birmingham City versus Bolton Wanderers. Obviously Birmingham City are a side that we wouldn't think would be doing as well this year as what they are. They are not far out of the playoffs, where most people would have predicted them to be, you know, probably just outside the relegation zone, maybe in it. Now they're coming up against Bolton Wanderers, who have got problems on and off the pitch, you know. They can't afford to pay the players and all that sort of stuff. The fans are wanting the owner out, and it's just going to go from bad to worse for them. The best thing for them, I'd say, is to go down. You know, hopefully the owner sells up for them, because it's not good to see clubs when they're like that. And, you know, rebuild, go down and rebuild. But in this game, I can only see a Birmingham win. You know, it's at Birmingham's ground. They're fighting for promotion, or playoffs should I say, and they've managed to keep hold of their star player, Che Adams. So while they've got him, they need to make the most of it, because, you know, he will probably leave at the end of the season. But Birmingham go into it after a really good win at the weekend. They beat QPR 4-3 away from home. And for this game, I'm going to say a 2-0 Birmingham win. You know, they need this more than, you know, they really need this one. The next game after that is Bristol City versus QPR. You know, let's be honest, both of them teams are also doing better than what we thought they would this year. QPR, when you looked at them at the beginning of the season, they were losing about 7-1 to the likes of West Brom. And you know, you'd have said around the relegation zone for them also. Bristol City, we know they had a good season last year. You know, they had a really good cup run. They got to play Man City and all that in the cup. They got to semi-finals. And they didn't do too bad in the league, but you wouldn't have thought they'd be sat in the playoffs now, which they currently are. And for this game, I can see Bristol City winning 2-1. You know, it's at home, and I can just see them taking that home advantage and getting a win here. You know, it is a must-win for them, because if they draw or lose and we win on the Wednesday night, which I am Derby, obviously we will go back above them. We're only below them on goal difference, so it's a must-win for them, and I can see them winning 2-1. After that, we move on to Hull City versus Rotherham. Obviously, this is a bit of a, you know, local derby for them both. Hull City are doing a lot better than what we thought this season. You know, most people put them around relegation zone again, and they're not. They're actually sat in the top half of the table, which is all good for them. And they come up against relegation battling Rotherham United. And, you know, Rotherham have a really poor away record. They really do not really get anything away. They mainly lose them. For this game, I think it'll be a 2-0 Hull City win. Obviously, Hull did lose to Derby at the weekend 2-0, so they're not going to want to let their heads get down for too long after that, and I can see them actually winning this one 2-0. Moving on, we've got Millwall versus Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, Millwall are in that bottom half of the table, so they aren't exactly having the best of seasons of last year. Sheffield Wednesday also doing really poor this season. They've just got Steve Bruce as their manager, so, you know, he's doing his part. And the Den isn't an easy place to go and get a result at all. And in this game, I am going to say a 1-0 Sheffield Wednesday win. I just think that Wednesday are still under that new manager effect, and I can see him actually winning this 1-0. And then the last game of Tuesday night is a big one. It's West Brom versus Forest. I've put this one to finish with West Brom 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Obviously, both teams are fighting for playoffs. They're fighting for that promotion race. You know, Forest started off really well with Aitor Karanka and sacked him, unfortunately. But they're still looking for promotion. They've got a good team, and now they're looking for it under Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane. West Brom are already in the playoffs, so they need this win just for the fact that they can stay in there and push for them automatics. So I'm going to say 3-2 win for West Brom. Moving on to Wednesday night, the first fixture is Brentford versus Aston Villa. look, none of the sides are doing as well as what we thought they would. Brentford are sat in that bottom half of the table, and you know, we thought they'd probably be in that top half, coming up against Villa, who are sat outside the playoffs, who we'd have probably said would make the playoffs this year, and unfortunately not for them. Obviously, Aston Villa manager Dean Smith did leave Brentford earlier on in the season, when Aston Villa sacked Steve Bruce, of course. Now, for this game, I have said a 1-1 draw. I just think that Brentford are going to be looking for a point from this one. They are at home, so they'll be looking for a point minimum, maybe push for that win. But I am going to say a 1-1 draw in this one. After that, it's Ipswich versus Derby. Look, Mick McCarthy leaving the club at the start of the season, or the end of the last season, shall I say, it really hasn't helped them, I don't think, because he was the right man for the job. And, you know, they sat bottom of the table and things are just going from bad for worse for them. And I think it is looking like they are going down now. There's no denying that. So the best thing for them to do now, go down, rebuild the squad, come back up, and, you know, we'll see what happens. But for this game, I've said a 2-0 Derby win. You know, we're having a really good season, really, in his first season under Frank. We are sat just outside the playoffs on goal difference. And we've had 2 really good cup runs, and I think that we need to win this game if we are to fight for that playoff position. Obviously, like I say, we're just sat outside the playoffs on goal difference. So if we want to stay in that playoff race, keep up on Bristol City, then this is a must win. Obviously, the night before Bristol City play, so, you know, if they win, we need to win, just for the fact that if we win, then we'll stay just behind them on goal difference again. If they draw, we can go above them, or if they lose, we can go above them. So, you know, this is a must-win for us. After that is Leeds versus Swansea. Leeds, you know, they're doing really well. Their first season under their new manager. Obviously, all that stuff come out with Spygate, and they're starting to struggle a bit. They're coming up against Swansea, who just come down from the Premier League this year. And, you know, they're not as high as probably they wanted to be. They'd have been wanting a playoff spot, fighting for the automatics. Now, I've said a 3-1 Leeds winning this one. I just think that Leeds are going to pick up a bit of confidence. You know, they're going through a bit of a bad patch, and I just think that they're going to get the win here at home against Swansea. Moving on, we've got Preston versus Norwich. Preston aren't doing as well as what we all thought they would. They sat in that bottom half of the table. Now they're coming up against top of the league Norwich City, who no one thought would be there at this stage. And I am going to say a 0-0 draw for this one. Preston, you know, they've started to pick up a bit of form, and I just think that they'll hold Norwich to a draw at home. They did against us the other week, and they made it really difficult for us. I think Norwich will probably be happy with a point away from home. You know, it's a point on the board, and I just think that they'll draw 0-0. After that, Sheffield United versus Middlesbrough. This is a big game in that playoff position. And for this one, I'm going to say a 3-2 Sheffield United win. I just think that Sheffield United are full of confidence at the minute. Obviously, they're going to be a bit disappointed after their result on Friday, being 3-0 up against Aston Villa and bottling that away. I just think that they're going to set, like, this is going to be their apology to the fans and get a win. And then Wigan versus Stoke. Look, Stoke are now sat 17th in the league. I thought for them, things might have changed when they got the new manager. Obviously not. Things are actually getting pretty bad now. And I'm going to say a 1-0 Wigan win. I just think that Wigan did well in the transfer window. And I think Wigan are going to want it more. You know, they are fighting Stoke just like Stoke. And I can see Wigan actually winning this 1-0. And then the last game of the midweek games is Reading versus Blackburn. Blackburn are doing really well this season. Higher than any of us would have thought. Reading, they are really struggling. Currently, I believe, in the relegation zone or just outside of it. So both sides are going to want the point from this one. And I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I just don't think that Reading will be strong enough to get the win against Blackburn. But I do think they'll manage to get draws. So I'm going to say a 2-2 draw for that one. Moving on to Saturday then. Saturday's fixtures. The first game is an early kick-off, and it's Rotherham versus Sheffield Wednesday. A bit of a Yorkshire derby. Like I said earlier, Rotherham really don't have a great away form. However, they do have a good home record, really. And I can see them drawing this one 1-1 with Sheffield Wednesday. I just think Rotherham know how important it is that they do pick up points now. and they will fight for a point against Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday are under new manager Steve Bruce, so I cannot see them winning, losing this one. But I am going to say a 1-1 draw for Rotherham. After that, we've got another Birmingham derby. We've got Aston Villa versus West Brom. It is a big game for both teams. Obviously, Villa are just outside of the playoffs. West Brom are in the playoffs, so both teams need it. And I can see West Brom winning this one 2-1. I just think it is a must-win for West Brom. And yeah, I can see him winning this one. Sorry about that, guys. 2-1. Moving on, we have got Bolton versus Norwich. I can see Norwich winning this 4-0. Obviously, like I said, Bolton are really struggling at the minute. And Norwich are flying at the minute at the top of the league. And I can see them winning this 4-0. Moving on, we got Ipswich versus Stoke. Like I've just said, Stoke are really struggling at the minute. They are sat 17th in the league. They're coming up against Ipswich Town, who are also struggling. And I can actually see Ipswich getting a point out of this one. I can see it being a draw. It's at Ipswich Grand, and I'm going to say a 1-1 draw for that one. Preston versus Forest. I've put this down as another 1-1 draw. Like I said, Preston seem to be picking up a bit of form, picking up a few draws, and I can see them holding Forest to a draw. Obviously, they did manage to beat them 2-1 at their ground, so I think they take a point from their ground. And then the last game is Sheffield United versus Reading. Obviously, Sheffield United are flying, coming up against strugglers Reading, and I've put a 3-1 Sheffield United win. So yeah, that's it for the championship for this week, guys. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Also, comment your thoughts down below on what you think of the score predictions for this week. And thank you for watching.